Here's Brian and Lance. We're live from STS Studios in Jonesboro, Arkansas for WTF News Desk, June 2021. I'm BT. How the hell are you, Lance?
I hear you're tired over there in the Mountain Dew Baja Flash Studios. Are you?
That's right. I just want everyone to know this will be the last episode recorded in these studios. We have a brand new studio.
Right.
New studio starting Saturday. It's called 304 Studios. They're in Jonesboro, Arkansas. That's right. I'm
excited.
It's really exciting. It's going to be totally different. I think you guys will enjoy it.
High definition TV, so we'll get to see all your whiskers and everything, right?
No. I'm using the same camera, so fuck that.
Okay. I thought it was going to be like a new high tech studio.
It's going to be a little high tech. We're going to put some sound, some sound stuff. Some what you call it, so that the sounds will bounce off the wall. So like me. But I've been, not everyone knows this, but I've been packing for the last 3 or 4 days. We're moving, and so it's dedication, brother. That's what I'm going to say about this episode. I hope everyone enjoys it. This is my little break from packing everything, and I'm excited about it. I want to thank everyone. We are still 215% increase over last year in listens. And last June, which was one of our lowest months, we were 532% more. So that's 5 times more listens this June than last year.
Putting on the sunglasses because with all these records we're breaking,
That's right. It has a lot to do with that man right there with that the sunglasses. Wears them every Saturday.
That guy. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Johnny
except
Dixon?
for
what's his name? Johnny Dixon.
Yeah, Johnny Dixon. My buddy Rhino JB, Memphis. Rolling into Memphis, is a top show because we're on television. I think that has a lot to do with it. But the second best show, or the top show of our original shows, is this one right here, WTF. And we appreciate everyone continuing to listen. Tell them about our Patreon, man.
So our Patreon is at patreon.com/shooting the Shzinit. That's shooting without a G, as you like to say, shooting the Shzinit. So go on there. You can sponsor us for $1, $2, $3. No, you can't do $1.
No, it's $3 now. Yeah.
$20, $75, whatever you want to send. If you want to go over the $3, that's great, because then I might actually get like some French fries to go with my hot dogs when he decides to feed me. So you can get on there, get all kinds of. You get your early episodes, prizes. When we do the giveaways and shit, you're already entered for the prizes. So it's always a win-win, and it's a minimal $3 a month. So $36 a year by my math.
All right, got to have you say it, Lance. Super Sizzling Summer Showdown Giveaway. You got to say it real fast.
The Super Sizzling Summer Showdown Giveaway. When you can meet Lance, you can get a meet and greet with Lance LeVine.
No, it's Lance Archer.
Don't confuse it. Don't confuse. Lance Archer, the Murder Hawk.
We're giving away. If you're listening to it on video right now, you have until Thursday. You can DM me. I'll enter your name here on Facebook. DM me.
DM you, not BM.
Yes.
DM. Yeah.
Our own Twitter there. Guys, I'll enter you into the contest for just those 2 tickets. You have to be a Patreon member to win the big prize. And the big prize is a video message from Austin Lane this month, a Rolling Into Memphis t-shirt, a prize package from Manscaped, which is over $70.
That's always nice.
Other items from our sponsors, a wrestling mask, Funko Pops, and if you watch the show this Saturday, the Memphis show, I'm going to have a title belt just like Alan Steele had. So there you go. All right, let's get
Austin Lane the best of the best.
He is the best of the best.
The best of the best. That's right.
And he'll just send you a message, a happy birthday, or he'll cut a promo on you, whatever the hell you want. So.
And the possibility to meet Lance Archer, so that's super cool.
All you got to do, guys, if you're listening to it right now, just DM me, PM me, CM me, whatever you want to do there.
Do not BM him. That's
Oh,
something
okay. I'm
for.
confused.
That's on the weekends. That's a separate
I'm
thing
confused.
altogether.
I'm confused. So I'll put your name in a hat. Just send us a message and say, hell, I want to go, man. I'm in Memphis and I want to go see Lance Archer.
Wait, which hat? The hat you're wearing?
Yep, that's right.
The Mr. Melon hat. He's going to put your name in the Mr. Melon hat. Authentic. So go to Patreon.
It's not
Patreon.com/shooting the Shzinit. Sign up, $3 a month. You can't lose.
All right.
So,
let's go.
We're getting to the news. So it's the June WTF News Desk, June 2021. As I was telling you yesterday, it never fails to amaze me how many stories we come up with by the time the month rolls around to an end. So I'll be going into the third week of the month like, dude, we only got like 3 stories. What's going to happen? And then 7 things pop up. So it always works. So, all right, we're starting at number 10. Where we always start is with our stipulation match. We are not going to Japan, Brian. I have to break the news to everybody. We're not going to Japan. We're going to Mexico. So June 15th in Guadalajara, it is a CMLL match. It is a 4-way tag, 4 different teams. So I'm not going to bore you with the other teams. But 2 of the people in the match included El Satanico, who was 71 years old, and Panterita del Ring Jr., who is 19 years old. So that is one gigantic age difference. 71 years old, this guy's in the ring. So you know what that is. Between them combined, that's 90 years of wrestling experience. So I thought that was an amazing statistical anomaly that we had a 71 and a 19 in the same match. Also have to mention a GCW card happened on June 19th. It was called Outlaw Mud Show, which is already enough to get mentioned here because it's a snubbing the nose at Jim Cornette, obviously, with that one. But the police arrived on this show. The police arrived during Nick Gage and Vance Warner are brawling, and the police arrived. 8 cops arrived because they think it's a real fight, and it had gotten out of hand, and they were ready to take action. So I'm like, no, that's just the way those 2 guys pretty much wrestle. So it's nothing to be, confused by. We also had in June Hana Kimura, a tribute show in Japan. It included a battle royal on the show, including the 2 characters who I felt like we had to mention here. Banana Senga is one of the wrestlers, and this one is one right up your alley, Lingerie Muto. So this guy looks and wrestles like Muto, but he dresses in lingerie. So I felt that had to be mentioned. And then finally, we do have to go back to DDT. We have to at least make mention. There's a wrestler in DDT named Yuji Hino, and his finisher is called the fucking bomb. That is it, the fucking bomb. And I'm like, I want to see Meltzer and all the result sheets. I want to see that result always that, Hino wins with the fucking bomb. So that is our stipulation stuff for the month of June, my friend.
Love it, love it, love it. All right, man. Give me just a second. You're going to have to double check your microphone. It sounds really echoey. Yes, guys, if you're watching it live, this is what we do, you bitches.
Technical snafus.
No, we decided not to. Double check. Just make sure.
What am I doing? Making sure it's the right one.
The USB instead of the real tech.
Audio is incorrect.
Catch. I'm glad you caught it this time sooner. It was when I checked it earlier. It was on that mic. Now
it was, but when you went in and out, it fucked it. So
okay. All right, so now we're on the good.
Let's go. Just go to 9. It'll sound a lot better from
number 9. I think I should have warned you. I wanted a 10-bell salute on this because we have some sad news at number 9. We have Huntington Beach Mayor Tito Ortiz has stepped down. So our friend Tito Ortiz, we've mentioned him practically every month with all the bullshit that he's done in California. But on June 1st, an emotional Tito reads a statement that he is concerned for his family's safety. He's taken too much media criticism. He's been met with hostility and judgment every week, and he is stepping down as the mayor of Huntington Beach, California. So I love the fact that, Tito's term as the mayor is marked with the mask stance, the fact that he was so anti-mask, the pro-Trump stance, that was another one. And, of course, the unemployment filing when he was mayor, and he's worth like a couple million. So a 10-bell salute for the sad news that we will no longer have Tito Ortiz to kick around at number 9.
The funny thing is I may actually have the 10-bell salute. No.
I figured we don't want to use it as a parody because we use it sometimes real. When people
I'm
pass
sorry,
away.
Tito.
So,
we really hate that you had to step down. A
I
moment
am
of silence,
confident.
Lance.
Yeah, there we go.
Let's be quiet for about 3 seconds. Here we go. Dumb fuck. All right, number 8. I got something to say about this one. Come on, number 8.
I'm quite sure we will find Tito somewhere, and we'll still mention him throughout the year, even though he's not mayor. So, all right, at number 8, we have Brody Lee Jr. goes on timeout. So we have the 8-year-old. The 8-year-old -1 is punished by his mom because his grades have slipped at school. So he had A's and B's, but his grades have slipped. His grades have gone down because of his AEW. So he lost his AEW privileges, and that's why he's been off TV, because he's been spending too much time at Dynamite and stuff. So he stopped doing his homework. He's too busy seconding Ty Conti to the ring and taking his shirt off because, that's important. So his mom says he can go again if his grades go back up, but not until then. He can't. He's been, on timeout. He can't go to Dynamite anymore. So I think, get him. We all agree it's a nice story. What they're doing for him is nice, and it's beautiful and wonderful what Tony Khan has done for this kid. And, I'm sure he appreciates it. He'll appreciate it even more as he gets older. Get him off fucking Dynamite. Put him on Dark Shadows or Dark Meat or whatever the other dark shows are called. Get him off. This kid doesn't belong on Dynamite. So he's on timeout. So that's our number 8 story. Brody Lee on timeout.
I don't want him on television. I've seen him pushing guys and they're selling for him and all that. It just really, it was okay for a couple weeks and then it got really goofy. They talked to him apparently about this, and he said he is really confident, and I pat the little skinny kid on the back about him going to be a professional wrestler. I'm excited about that, but and I'm not. This is going to sound really mean. It really is. But if we had every dead wrestler's kid on television, every time some wrestler died, man, we would have had a ton of I almost said dead kids. We would have had a ton of kids on television. I'm just not. I don't. Someone said, "Give him." Oh man, he's a kid. Blah blah blah. I don't like it. I think it's dangerous. Part of it's dangerous. What if he falls and breaks his fucking neck?
Yeah, there's that too. You got a 2-hour show, and you've already got so many people that you can't squeeze in because there's no time for that show. But they always manage to make time for him, So anyway, Brody Lee on timeout. So all right, number 7, we got our crime blotter. So our monthly crime blotter. So we've got this month we're featuring Tammy Sitch, Violent Bob Ross, and the Thunderdome itself. So first story out, we got Tammy Sitch walking the streets again. So on June 9th, Tammy is freed on her DUI, eluding police officers, and violation of domestic violence restraining orders from Monmouth County Correctional Institution. And the line that she said that was funny was, "I am the Taminator, I'll be back." I couldn't do an Arnold voice, sorry. She says, of course she says everything was a series of misunderstandings. That's all. It was a series of misunderstandings. And I felt here we should also mention that her legal team includes Stephen P. New, the guy that's so closely associated with Cornette. So then we have UFC's Luis Pena, who goes by the nickname Violent Bob Ross because he actually looks like that weird late painter Bob Ross. So Luis Pena, not a funny story, but just weird, arrested June 18th for allegedly hitting his girlfriend, breaking her phone because she was looking at men on Instagram. I'm like, that's a
I looked at the wife don't get mad at me for looking at me on Instagram.
I let you look at men on Instagram all the time. So he's charged. The charges are weird. He's charged with robbery and criminal mischief. I'm like, how about hitting the woman? Isn't that an issue? So Pena, who's 9-3 in MMA, says on Twitter, this is his quote on Twitter, LMAO, they're talking like I'm the next OJ. I'm like, yeah, you hit a woman and you're a violent fighter and your nickname is Violent Bob Ross. I think people have to take it seriously. So this guy needs help. He's been on record. He's tweeted suicidal stuff. So he needs help. He needs to get professional psychiatric help. And hopefully he gets better and nothing else happens with the girl.
I got a question about this. Just in general, we do this and we included the MMA because it's part of our Cool Kids group and everything. Is this, Dana White, does he just go? I know he's got mental problems, but is that who we get for the MMA? Is it like, do you have mental problems? Okay, You can wrestle for US. You can fight for UFC. All right, cool deal. Maybe we get a case of something violent from these guys almost every month. Every month we get something that they hurt one of their loved ones, and this guy says, "Oh, you should do it. You should look into my past. I've got mental problems." Well, if you got mental problems, take care of the motherfuckers and don't be beating on your girlfriend. And like I said, I don't know where he got out of not getting in trouble for that. All right.
Yeah.
And we also had
the Thunderdome broken into. So the University of South Florida police investigating a break-in on June 5th, where an assailant who is described as Hispanic, male, 25 to 30, brown hair, mustache, and a light goatee, broke into the Jungling Center, or whatever the fuck it's called, however you pronounce it, the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Center, and removed items that were belonging to WWE. So if you have any information on this case, please call 813-974-2628. Me personally, from that description, I'm thinking it was Dominic Mysterio. That's my guess, is that Dominic Mysterio broke into the Thunderdome.
Racist.
Could have been Humberto Carrillo, but it could have been him. But hey, in the police description, it said Hispanic male. So I knew you were going to call me racist, but I'm just going with what they described. So it'd be different if I said it was Rich Swann or something, you know?
Right. Yeah, you're right.
There you go.
I agree.
So, all right, number 6. I think you like to call these, I think you coined the phrase a feel-good story.
Feel-good story, baby.
Feel-good story. So at number 6, we have Swoggle is adopted. So December, or no, I don't know the date here. I don't have the date. Dylan Postal, 35, shares the happy news that he has asked his stepmother to adopt him on Mother's Day, since she was the one who raised him. And on here we go. Here's the date. June 10th, it was made official. So in court, Dylan Postal is officially adopted by his stepmother. So my only question, well, it's weird to me that when you hear about a 35-year-old person being adopted, that's just strange. But I'm just curious, did Vince and/or Fit Finley approve this? Because weren't they the fathers, the alleged fathers?
I can't remember exactly who the fathers are, but Hornswoggle is Marco Stunt's daddy, too. You don't know that, did you?
I think Marco Stunt is the new tattoo on the reboot of Fantasy Island.
Oh, okay. Let me just say something. Everybody that worked with Swoggle this couple weekends back for Memphis Wrestling, keep putting this guy over. And that people want to come out. He had a huge line. And then for 2 shows in Mississippi, he has sold out standing room only. So Swoggle's over, guys. Yeah. I have this a feel-good story because – I mean, here's a lady that, his real mom and dad did not actually raise him. And this is a woman that helped raise him for 25 years, and he wanted to make it a real thing. So I'm getting teary-eyed here. I think it's awesome. I think he had there's a picture of him and her, and he's got this huge freaking smile on his face. And it's you can tell it's just so real, man. It's just so real. Awesome for them. Congratulations to him. And if anybody books this guy, tell him that I recommend it. So,
did you ever notice how much Swoggle looks like AJ Styles? The hair, they're like twins. They look identical. The same hairstyle. So
exactly, they look exactly.
They're lookalikes, except for the height thing is a little bit off. And
you're a lookalike expert. You're a lookalike.
Swoggle, I am, and sound alike. Michael, shout out to Michael Young. Swoggle may have a few pounds on AJ. That's the only thing I'll say.
Oh God!
So all right, dude. So before the commercial,
before we go to commercial, I want to put this over. So we had this kind of a controversy. I had sent you a message, and I said, "Look, Roman and Ray, they're going to Friday Night SmackDown. They're doing the Hell in a Cell." Then you sent me a message after the match and said it was god awful. It was
sucked.
Like 12 minutes because without commercials.
Yep.
It was better with the 12 minutes, but for 12 minutes. So me and you were speculating the 10 reasons why Ray and Roman happened on the Friday night, and you got them right here in David Letterman format.
That's right. We couldn't figure out why was it moved off the pay-per-view to Friday Night SmackDown. So we had to do some research. And so, yes, we have the top 10 reasons why the Reigns Hell in a Cell match got moved to Friday. So at number 10, date conflicted with Adnan Virk's going away party. Number 9, Ray had the date saved for long-awaited eyeball replacement surgery. Number 8, Vince needed to shave time off somewhere for that fascinating Alexa Bliss hypnotizing Nia Jax bit. Number 7, Roman needed Sunday off to be on the set of Fast and Furious 127. Number 6, Ray called away Sunday for interview segment for A&E biography Conquistadors 1 and 2 episode. Number 5, Fox wanted Hell in a Cell match as a backdrop to interrupt with dog show commercials. Number 4, Sundays are Uso differentiation class night. Number 3, June 20th, first day of summer, Heyman was hosting one of those hot dog eating contests. Number 2, Ray asked for night off for wife Angie's weekly charisma injection surgery. And the number 1 reason why the Ray and Reigns match was moved to Friday, Roman had previously scheduled little teapot party with his daughter that he couldn't get out of. There you go.
There we go, guys. We found it out. There's 10 reasons why. Yep. All right, guys. As you know, we go. If you're listening to it audio, then just ignore what I'm fixing to say. Fixing to say. We're going to commercial
I thought
break.
It was finna.
No, it's fixing to. You're not even from the South. You're trying to tell me how to say something. Fixing to go to commercial break. You can watch the full show on the STSPOD Facebook page, but the others will go blank.
Go blank.
Blank, I said.
Once you go blank, you never go bank. Or something like that.
Wait, that's weird. All right, back from commercials. We thank our sponsors. I forgot to say something at the very beginning. We got all excited. We had our bloopers episode this past Sunday and the Rolling Into Memphis episode. WTF this week, and then the next episode is Rolling Into Memphis. I want to tell you, Lance, I've heard somebody say this is the best bloopers episode ever.
It's hysterical. It's really funny. I was like the first 10 minutes straight, I was like cracking up. So, and I was not on it. I didn't have any bloopers. That's the best. I had nothing that I said was incorrect. So it's awesome. But
okay.
No, as I tweeted about it today, it's nice that we can make fun of ourselves and laugh at ourselves and our malaprops and the goofy things that we accidentally say. So you got me good. You got me good on one of those clips. So
you got to actually listen.
Kayla has since forgiven me for that one.
Oh, no. This past Rolling Into Memphis, we actually started the new year out right with the bloopers. So there you go. Just wait till you hear it. And Rhino actually called me out on it. So go back and listen to that.
Wow.
All right, guys. Shout-outs real quick. I got a shout-out to Ed and Brino, Lesto, whatever your name is this week. We do appreciate you. Continue support. And I always, when I reach out to them, they send something back to me. Also, thank you to all the Patreon members. And thank you to everybody that watches a little bit of the video. I got a lot of that. I did a tour this past week. I went to see a lot of my friends, and apparently a lot of people are actually watching the videos, just a little bit of them here and there. But, yeah, we appreciate that.
Yeah,
all right,
definitely.
Go ahead. You got
those guys for sure. And hopefully we get more Patreons. And there's people that are listening to the record store that don't even listen to the wrestling stuff. It's cool that I'm hearing responses for that stuff, too. So shout out to them. Not that they would be watching this or listening to this, but shout out to them, too. So, all right, back to the countdown, back to WTF. At the desk, we're at number 5, which, of course, is Smut. Social media uproar time. We didn't have any true battles this month, which was kind of weird, especially because we already got one for July. But for Smut this time, we're going to have Amanda Nunes, Kim Kardashian, Molly Holly, and some doofus in the 605 group. So we'll start with Amanda Nunes and Kim Kardashian. So Dana White, on the heels of the freak show, Logan Paul fights and the Jake Paul fight BS, Dana says on June 8th that they should have a bantamweight featherweight championship fight between Amanda Nunes and Kim Kardashian. And Dana's quote is, "How big do you think that fight would be? It'd be huge." So Nunes, who is arguably the best woman fighter of all time, jumps on board and tweets, "Hey, Kim, let's do this, LOL." So that is, that was social media shit. It wasn't a battle. And obviously nothing's going to come of that, but I thought that was bizarre. Molly Holly, I don't know if you knew about this, but this is controversial. Molly Holly appeared on an online interview show called Shooting the Shit. there needs to be a lawsuit. There needs to be investigations. I don't know how this shooting the shit with the G and not the nit. I don't know how they're allowed to exist. I think this is a theft of intellectual property on your part. So I think Mr. Mellon should get some legal team behind this.
I've already talked to my lawyer. They told me not to comment.
And I think Molly Holly should be implicated in this for being on the show. And then finally, some doofus, I don't know that we want to name him, but some doofus publicly in the 605 Facebook group says he knows of multiple pedophiles in wrestling back in the day, but his lips are sealed. So I'm like, so because it was a criminal act, you don't see fit to acknowledge that or say anything? So anyway, the previously mentioned Brain Lasto tormented this guy to no end, and Howie is suffering the wounds from that one. So just a dumb thing to admit online is that you know a bunch of pedophiles from wrestling and you just don't want to say anything. I'm like,
right. I mean, it's
kind of makes you just as guilty.
It does, but it's one of those things where it was.
Hey, look at me! I know something. I know somebody, and I'm not telling anybody. Look at me!
Right.
That's exactly what it looked like. So I was happy that Braino was tormenting this guy mercilessly. So to the point where this guy tried to send me this guy sent me a friend request on Facebook, probably just so he could, try to infiltrate and get more information. So like, just shut up, dude. Just, you knew something. You shouldn't have said anything at all if you didn't want to reveal it, So are you with us?
I was trying to talk like 4 times and you won't let me say anything. There is an underline where everyone knows, in the sense that guys that are considered superstars in anything like sports, rock bands, wrestling, they like the young girls. Now, if you see it happening and you say, "Well, hell, I know he screwed a young girl," but you don't say anything, it does really make you just as guilty, guys. Yeah. Just as guilty. So don't ever think that you can run around in some group which you're trying to make yourself look good by saying something stupid like that. What gets me is I don't think many people called him on it. They just thought, just let him keep talking about it. So that's part of that group. I'm glad me and you ended it a long time ago.
I've never been in that group, so it's just
I'm just saying, not being actually seeing the bullshit.
Yeah. So, all right, at number 4, we have Raw writer knows nothing about wrestling. So we have Kenise Mobley on the Asian Not Asian podcast, which I have a problem with that right there. The Asian Not Asian podcast. It's like, do I have a Jewish not Jewish pod, white not white pod, whatever. I don't get that. But anyway, she's on the Asian Not Asian, the Anna podcast, if you will. She says she was a comedy writer. She was hired by WWE, but yet knew nothing about wrestling. She refers to Bobby, the Raw champion, as Bobby Ashley. That's how little she knew. So she says, they did not require me to know anything about wrestling. I'm like, and they were perfectly fine with her not knowing anything about wrestling. So that's the part where they look bad. She looks bad. And quite frankly, she says she's a comedy writer. Having watched all the shows, I don't think she knows much about comedy either, but that's a whole different story. So she's promptly released after these comments. She's released on June 25th. I think the comment was dumb. It made them look bad, embarrassed them, publicly, which obviously they don't want. And even some of the wrestlers were pissed off by this comment from this woman too. So she was let go on the 25th. So hopefully they bring in some writers that, I don't know a little bit about wrestling.
That would be like you getting hired, Lance, or Walking Dead. You got hired for The Walking Dead, and you do an interview, and they say, "Are you excited about Mr. Levine? Are you excited about being part of The Walking Dead?"
I don't know the first thing about Walking Dead. Who are those characters? Who's that one guy? Who's that dead guy? Norman something? Is that
who's that guy with the gun? Who's the guy with the gun? So,
I think a machete will kill a zombie, won't it?
Number one, I can see. Here's what I can see. I can see the WWE actually hiring somebody that doesn't know anything about wrestling just for the comedy aspect. I can see that. But I can't see you actually getting on and doing an interview where you say, "Oh, they hired me, but I don't know nothing about it." I thought that was the stupid part. So, and
especially
like
you said, on the Asian Not Asian podcast,
comedy and wrestling has to be funny. I have not been on that podcast yet, but
Okay.
I am scheduled. So.
So yes, exactly. Comedy has to be funny. And honestly, there's so little funny stuff in WWE. That's what I'm questioning her credentials in the first place, because she didn't know wrestling or comedy from the looks of it. So, all right, at number 3, we have the ironic pairing of Joey Janela and Drake Wuertz. So this one is, strap yourselves in for this one. This one's great. June 22nd, the Seminole County School Board having another meeting where, again, our friend, former ref Drake Wuertz, who had been dismissed by WWE, is tearfully demanding the masks come off the kids because, of course, that promotes trafficking of children. So Joey Janela, who actually knows Drake Wuertz, they've worked together in the past, Janela has been entertained by Drake Wuertz going off the deep end, as have all of us, for these last couple of months, Wuertz going off the deep end. He lives nearby. He knows that this is going on. So he races out to buy a checkered shirt, khaki pants, and like a Trump-ish looking hat to bust into the meeting and make a scene. So he gets there late. He misses the Wuertz speech, but Drake actually recognizes Janela when he gets there. So Janela asks Wuertz, how can he speak? And Drake says, oh, it's too late. You can't. So another guy is up there speaking. Janela yells, your time is up. Your time is up. And he gets scolded. He yells, I'm just frustrated about this mask bullshit. So then he runs out, makes his escape. And then Janela auctions off the outfit for charity. So he's proud for the whole thing because he worked Cornette on this too. Cornette thought he was in cahoots with Drake Wuertz, and he wasn't. He was just actually making a spectacle of himself because this whole preposterous Drake Wuertz act for the last couple months at these school board meetings. So the pairing of Janela and Wuertz at number 3.
All right, got 2 words, okay? 2 words for this. Goof and goof. There we go. Go ahead. Let's go. We're going to go to our sponsor, Manscaped, and we'll be right back. All right, back. We got 2 and 1. As I said, goof and goof. There we go.
Goof and goof. All right. That's like Goofy and his son, Goofy Jr. or whatever. So I don't know. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. So all right, and number 2. Number 2, I'm showing off my bilingualness here. We got Noticias de la Lucha Libre. So a lot of lucha news. This is a couple months running. We've had lucha news. So we've got Angel O Demonio. We've got Kung Fu Jr. We've got Tinieblas, Lady Apache, Halcyon Negro Jr., and Alejandro Montez. So we'll start off with the deaths or not deaths. So we have Angel O Demonio, also known as Hector Perez, dies of COVID on June 5th. And this is the guy, just the fact that a guy died, we're not normally going to mention that, but this is the guy who threw the cinder block to the back of the head of Cuervo that could have killed him. So you can say it was COVID that killed him, but it could have been karma that killed him because this was the douchebag that threw the brick at him. So we had controversy because was he dead? Was he not dead? He's dead. So we have Angel O Demonio is dead. But then there's the bizarre tale of Kung Fu Jr. Is he dead or alive? So reports come out that this guy has died, and they even have a black ribbon on his Facebook page. But his daughter comes out and says that he's alive and that his Facebook page had been hacked. So she puts up a photo to prove that he's alive, but the photo is timestamped from 2020. So people are still speculating, why are you putting an old photo up of him if he's really alive? So then Kung Fu Jr. posts a video saying, as far as I know, I'm alive. So we're pretty sure that he's alive, but we're not 100%. So, and I felt in my research here, I felt like I should mention that Kung Fu actor David Carradine died in 2009 of autoerotic asphyxiation. So I just wanted to mention that here because it kind of ties in.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
It ties in.
Then
we have, sadly, another 10-bell salute. Tinieblas and Lady Apache only got less than 1% of the vote in the Mexican mayoral elections. So they were pretty smoked out of that election. Halcyon Negro Jr. says that a director of Survivor Mexico sexually harassed him. So obviously sexual harassment, not a funny story. However, his manager quits because he's saying that the story is false and that Negro said the story just for publicity and to make a name for himself. So Negro is saying that the director wanted sex for the role and that Negro refused the sex for the role. But the fact that his manager quit because he's saying that the story is all made up is what makes it bizarre. And then finally we have Alejandro.
Hold on. I got one comment about that one. That guy is that's a damn good looking guy. So Go ahead.
Oh, just wait. Is it what day of the week is it? It's not the weekend. We're not allowed to acknowledge this stuff.
That's right. I'm sorry.
So I'm going to have to break your phone because you're looking at pictures of Halcyon Negro Jr.
No,
on
it's on
Instagram.
Google. Not phone. I don't have the phone.
All right. Okay. All right. So anyway, final story on Lucha Noticias is Alejandro Montez, the EVP, Executive Vice President. You know, I'm an EVP of the STSPOD network. So
that's right.
He is the EVP of AAA. He says that they're going to have an all Marvel Universe card in 2022 and that he would like to work with DC too if they can negotiate it. So all I think about, I've seen a little bit of that Marvel stuff. All I can think about is those goofs that are in Times Square and Hollywood Boulevard in the bad Spider-Man costumes and stuff. And those guys wrestling.
What made you think of that?
Because the costumes are so bad. You know, it's
I
like
love the costumes.
They don't make them look. They're so cheesy. They're like just third-rate, Party City type costumes.
I disagree. I thought the first match, the match wasn't that good, but I thought the costumes looked good. I'm excited. I love this stuff. And you said he really hopes he can work with DC. Hell yeah, he does. Hey, we want to work with Marvel too. Marvel and DC. We'll dress up and we'll have the podcast. I'll be Batman and he can be Superman.
Spider-Man or something. And we can do DC versus Marvel. Like they want to do DC versus Marvel. That would be cool. You know,
they said that contract was one of the things that kept them going during COVID.
The Marvel money, the Disney money.
Contract. Yeah. All right, number one
is it's Pride Month, bitches. So number one, it just so happened to be that we have a lot of news that has to do with Pride because it was June. Just a big coincidence. So we've got Cody, we've got Piper Niven, we got Tony Storm, Philip Thomas Jr., and finally Jim Barnett, the late Jim Barnett. How does he get in here? So a lot of Meltzer-related stuff here. So Cody releasing a rainbow version of his merch early in the month, and the IWC loses their shit. Like a lot of wrestlers released, rainbow-colored logos and stuff for their shirts. I don't know why people lose their minds for this kind of shit.
I get this.
Totally get it.
Yeah. The reason they got upset about this is because, I like what someone had said in the sense that there's so many gay people on the AEW roster. It's like, 90% gay. So why didn't they make some shirts with them instead of just all of a sudden with Cody?
Cody. So Cody is the figurehead. He's the top face, whatever. So, all right, then we've got Piper Niven. So she's reintroduced as Dewdrop, as the character Dewdrop on Raw a couple weeks ago. So Meltzer revealed this. I did not know this, but Dewdrop is a slang term for women who are sexually attracted to other women. I'm like, what? That's like in Urban Dictionary. So I looked it up too, and honest to God, I'm not making this up. Dewdrop is also a synonym for pre-cum. So I'm like, so they named her Dewdrop. And also on top of it, she came out as being bisexual in 2019. So there is no way this name sticks. This reminded me of wasn't it Ruby Riott when they did the Riot Squad? They named them like something that was like the name of a porn movie or something, and they dropped it right away. It was like the sorority, cheerleader squad or some bullshit like that. So they changed it to Riot Squad or something like that. So this Dewdrop, if they're going to claim it's a coincidence, they might as well drop it now. But anyway, then we got Tony Storm also coming out as bi on June 22nd. The only reason I'm bringing it up here is because of Meltzer's phrasing of it. I got a kick out of this. So the way he exactly phrased it was Tony Storm also came out this past week as being bi, although not on television. So I'm like, that phrasing is kind of weird because I'm like, okay, so on TV, she's either gay or straight, but in private life, she's bi. It was weird phrasing, so I got a kick out of that. So then we got Philip Thomas Jr., not the guy from Miami Vice, but Philip Thomas Jr., who is the Sonya Deville stalker. You may know him better as that role. So he is deemed mentally unfit to stand trial. He's sent to a local mental house indefinitely. So he's off the streets. He's not going to get out. They're saying he's probably going to be there for a good long time, which is good news for Sonya. And then finally, the obituary for Tony Marino, who was Batman. You mentioned Batman earlier. He was Batman, so he passed away, and Meltzer did the obituary. And the reason that's in here is because he reports that Jim Barnett, who's the guy that JR does the cheesy imitation of with the my boy or whatever, when he does the really bad old school gay stereotype voice. So Jim Barnett promoted shows in the 60s at Singapore's Gay World Stadium. And I'm like, Okay, there we go. That's how we end the month, is the fact that Jim Barnett used to promote shows at Gay World Stadium in Singapore. So there you go. Our number one story is Pride Month in June.
Not on television. She's not bisexual on TV.
No, she's only bisexual behind the scenes. On television, she's either gay or straight, one or the other. One of the 75 genders that are out there.
Man, come on, don't get us canceled. So Patreon, we do honorables, and you will have to shell out that whole $3. We're going to do it right now, and you'll get this. You get this episode early. Don't they get it early? They get it early, Lance.
Early. You'll get it tonight. You will get it tonight.
No,
almost live.
Tomorrow night.
Practically.
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow.
But all right. So
live.
Same bad time, same bad channel on the best little wrestling podcast in the business. Be there, and as everyone knows, Jim Barnett was gay. I mean, everybody knows. I love
my boy. So hey, and don't forget, follow me on Twitter. It's at ChocolatierLL, and I have fun everywhere I go. You know this. Everywhere.
Even the Gay World Stadium? Would you have fun?
I've never been to Gay World Stadium. That's where you and Moose had that one match. The still photo of the melon head. Oh man, now it's like the wallpaper.
Oh no, there we go. Hey, hey Patreon, we're back. We didn't leave, so I actually cut out that little silence there. Hey, I want to talk about and get your. This is part of the honorable mentions. I actually sent something about Dewdrop differently, is because of the actual reaction that we even got it in our Cool Kids. It seems like just because this girl is overweight, secret, she's overweight, guys. Here's a
breaking news.
I'm overweight. Hey, look, Lance, I'm bald too.
Whoa!
And I can't see. I wear glasses.
Wow. Put those glasses back on. I'm getting aroused.
Oh, shoo. Woo. I'm sorry. But I want to ask you, did you see so much? I mean, it seems like if they want to come up with an angle with this girl, it's almost like they got to come up with an angle. This is some people booking in our little Cool Kids group that said, well, they should do it so that she makes fun of her because she's fat.
Whole thing.
Why is the whole thing with her being fat such a big deal?
She can work. I mean, that's the other thing. First, we've already established years ago, I think we talked about this girl years ago. First off, she's attractive. Yeah. And second of all, she's a good worker, So as I've said, I've brought her name up many times because if they were insistent on having somebody play a Nia Jax monster kind of character, they should have used her because she's a bigger girl, but she can work. That's the difference. Nia Jax has never been able to work. So I mean, they haven't come right out yet. I mean, she's only been on TV on Raw for about 3 weeks now. They haven't come out yet with the disrespectful heavy set
I hope they
stuff.
don't. Yeah.
They're just playing it off that, Eva Marie doesn't want to tag in and Dewdrop does all the work and takes all the, Eva takes all the glory. And it's so from the very first episode of them doing this bit, it was so set up for Dewdrop to turn on her, obviously, and turn on Eva Marie. So, I mean, it's been so blatantly obvious. But honestly, I thought they were going to blow it off right away because they had them lose like in the first or second week. It was really early on. So the push didn't even get that far.
And it's not only our group. So I'm in a couple more wrestling groups because I put out the podcast and I put it in those groups. There was just, I don't even know how to say it. It's just, hey, who's that Tubby? Who's the fat
People
girl?
said that?
Oh. Yeah, stuff like that. And I was just like, and this has absolutely nothing to do with the cancel culture. We're not part of that. We want to give you the right to say that. But why the fuck are you saying that? That's that guy that's sitting at the house and unfortunately his wife's 500 pounds, but he wants to make fun of everybody, that's on television that doesn't look like a normal person. Guess what? You know, there's more girls out there that look like her than look like Eva Marie. I tell you what, that's it. And I hated it. But they don't do that with guys. Let's do a fat angle
like
with
Otis.
Samoa Joe.
Like,
no,
fuck
Samoa
Otis.
Joe.
He's fat, you know. Otis is fat. Fuck that guy. No, it's like, you know, I mean, maybe this is too simplistic, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. If you can work, that buys you a whole lot of credibility and a whole lot of forgiveness with me. You know, it's like, she can work. This girl can go. Jordan Grace does not look like the other girls, and Jordan Grace can wrestle, and Jordan Grace is an interesting wrestler in the ring. Buys a lot of credibility, you know, whether male, female, whatever. It's like I kind of almost look the other way when it comes to whether they're too fat, too skinny, whatever you want to say, because they can fucking work. So, you
I've
know, we've
said that
it
a million times.
Yep.
I like a show that has fat guys, muscle guys, big girls, little girls, whatever. It's kind of what I booked. If you could see my roster, you would see, you know, Hornswoggle and no, I'm just kidding. But we did have a short
or
guy.
AJ Styles. You'd have AJ Styles. Same thing.
All right, what's your honorables? You got some more?
All right, honorables. I've only got a couple this time. I want to wish on behalf of the STS Pod, congratulations to Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, and of course their daughter Rue. You know, we can't have Rue left out, but they got married quietly in June.
I like a good Rue.
Congrats. A good Rue. Like, isn't that it's Kanga's child on the Winnie the Pooh cartoons? Rue.
No, that's
Kanga
what you
and
put
Rue.
on a sandwich. You know, you make New Orleans, they make a Rue.
I'll have to get we'll get Fred Cotto on the line and we'll get a recipe for a good Rue. But anyway, congrats to Seth and Becky over that. Becky on the verge of coming back any day now. So, and then my other story that I originally had this in our top 10, but we didn't have room. But WWE seeing fit to hire Jamie Horowitz as new executive VP, or EVP as it were, of development and digital. So they ignore the fact that this guy was fired by Fox in 2017 amid sexual harassment allegations from multiple women. So not only was he fired in 2017 by Fox, but he was also fired by the Today Show in 2014 after only being there for 2 months. So I'm like, is there nobody else that was qualified to do this job? I mean, granted, you know, people are innocent until proven guilty, and people have the right to rehabilitate themselves. But it just seems like this guy would be more trouble than he's worth to bring him on board. You know?
Like he'd have this big, you know, cross. You know, when you look at the people that you hire, they go, no, we don't hire it. No, stay away from him. Yeah, I wonder what the hell they were thinking. I have a few that
red flags. Too many red flags on this guy.
Yeah, very much so. Katrina, that was with Lucha Underground, has got a new TV show out called Miami River Cops. It's based on the life of a police officer. I thought that was the thing about Lucha Underground. You haven't really heard a lot from those people except for MLW starting their own version of it. Our friend Bix's fan, you know, Tattletale. He started
He's
fight.
He's a good-looking man. Good-looking man.
He is a good-looking man. He had a fight with Conrad on Twitter because
you'll never work for me again.
Biggs was upset that the robe that they put on that Most Wanted Treasures, he said that wasn't the actual robe and blah, blah, blah. It's a work, motherfuckers. I hate to tell you that. It's a work, you motherfucker. WWE Most Wanted. That's kind of what. I thought
that show was called Finding Our Lost Shit, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe in the foreign markets, it was Finding Our Lost Shit. We got a
couple of stories on that. Personal stories we're going to reveal down the line about finding some shit of mine. Booker T lost. You didn't put this on the main. Lost. He was not GI, bro. They said that he was crazy. Jerry Lawler, did you play against Lawler's Army? Did you ever play against softball?
I never did play. No, I never did. I played softball in school, but I never played against him.
When the Philadelphia group came, and I talked with Blue Meanie when he was on, when the Philly group came down, shout out to Tom Robinson. And we all played softball. We all played softball against Lawler's Army. They had their last game. So I know he's only 74 years old. Speaking of Lawler, there's a story brewing that may come out this month, may never come out. He said I sent you a clip. it was kind of racist. He said some racist things. If we don't see the story, we'll play it on Patreon. We'll play the
ill-advised comments. Ill-advised.
Ill-advised.
We'll just say that.
I talked to a few people, and they said that the question to me was, what if it was approved? Hey, still not something I would have said, but there you go. Brian Clark, Brian Clark, Adam Baum. I loved Adam Baum, by the way. He's in jail, was charged with conspiracy, transporting and selling narcotics, drug possession, and possession of a weapon during a drug offense series that took place in January and April of 2019.
He was cleared.
Cleared of the charges. Yeah,
cleared.
yeah. We covered. He was completely cleared of the charges, and so how do you get cleared? How do you get those charges against you? That's what made me laugh about it. And then they go, "Nah, he didn't do it."
And especially the fact that it was so long ago. It was a year or two ago, and he's finally going to trial for that, and they cleared him of the charges. So that was weird, the fact that it took so long. And then they just said, whatever, my bad. They got that wrong. My bad, wrong guy.
It sounds like he might have turned evidence on somebody else and said, okay. And my final thing was the picture of Anna Jay and Jungle Boy that blew up Twitter. Him grabbing her ass and boy, man, that's everybody was giving Jungle Boy, and hey, pat on the back, buddy. You picked a good.
How tall is he anyway? How tall?
I don't know how tall he is. Yeah, now that's a good looking guy too. That Jungle Boy. Now
I don't know. I mean, he had his hand on her hip. It wasn't grabbing her ass. No. It was on her hip.
Go back and look at it.
I will. His hand was on her hip. It was not grabbing her ass. But the bottom line is
grabbing her ass.
We need to get to the bottom of this controversy of how tall he is, because that blew up on Saturday. And I mean, I didn't bring it up because it was July, but that blew up as to how tall is Jungle Boy, and comments going back and forth online in a particular group that is of no value whatsoever. And of course, we didn't make a big deal of it in Cool Kids, because who gives a shit how tall Jungle Boy is? Jack Perry. I'm sorry, I call him Jack Perry.
Hey, because what you want to know is how tall is he compared to Billy Gunn? Now we need to look at him against Billy Gunn to see how tall he is compared to Billy Gunn.
Didn't you pee next to Jungle Boy at StarCast?
No, I tried to pee. I got the story wrong. I got a bashful penis, so I ran away. You know what's funny? Penis. I think about this now. Austin Gunn, you remember when we were at StarCast, me and you? Austin Gunn.
Sorry, Austin Gunn.
We were at StarCast, and we went. This is when we first went through, and we saw Billy Gunn and Austin Gunn, and me and you made a joke about how small Austin Gunn was. Do you remember? I said, "Man, he looks tiny," but that wasn't it. Austin Gunn's like a normal sized man.
Guy.
By the way, he's been on this show. But a normal sized man. Right. It's his dad's a fucking giant.
He's like Shaq. His dad is like fucking Shaq compared to the rest of the room,
And the things I saw in that bathroom.
For those who have not heard the story, in a nutshell, Brian goes into the bathroom at was that the Hyatt? I think it was the Hyatt, whatever, where StarCast was, the first StarCast. So Brian goes in the men's room to take a piss. And there's Billy Gunn taking a piss at another urinal. Brian just turned and walked away because the dude is so big, and he was intimidated just to be next to him at the urinal. So I never get tired of that story, because it's
Tama Tonga came out of the bathroom.
Turned and walked out.
Yeah, Tama Tonga came out of the bathroom, and he's like a normal. He's a little taller than me, a normal sized guy. And I was like, "Oh, there's Tama Tonga." Yeah. But you know what I think happened? It happened the same way with Tama Tonga. He walked in and saw how big Billy Gunn was and just turned around and left.
Fortunately, that was one of the times when I didn't have to piss, so I was lucky I didn't have to deal with it. But that was a great
Speaking of piss,
story.
I got to go.
Yeah.
Man.
So, all right, we're wrapping this up. So thank you very much, Patreons, for the dishonorable mentions for yet another month.
Man, my nose is in July. God.
Brian has a booger or something. What's going on there?
No, I don't know. I saw that.